This is Tenpin at its best. Europe versus the USA in one of the most illustrious team events in the sport. The defending champions lead Europe by 2 points in this race to 17. It's been a thriller of a tournament so far, with both teams giving it their absolute all in the pursuit of glory. Well, the sessions are made up of singles, doubles and the Team Baker matches. In this particular session, Team Europe opened with a solid win in the Baker, but since then, it's swung this way and that. America just can't get away from the Europeans, who are clinging on for dear life, and we have another couple of brilliant singles matches on the way. Time then to meet the players. Firstly, representing Team Europe, it's Dominic Barrett. And now, for Team USA, please welcome Bill O'Neill. Almost ready to get the action underway. Let's have a quick chat with the players first. Bill and Dom taking part in what is one of the closest Weber Cups ever. Bill, you are a player that wears your heart on your sleeve, aren't you? You look like you were carrying all the worries of the world at the start of the tournament, but you look a lot more relaxed now. Yeah, I put a lot of pressure on myself. You know, I don't know if it's good or bad, but in the beginning it was bad. And, you know, now I think things are going a little bit better. So, you know, hopefully I can keep the smile on my face. Yeah, good win for America last time out. How much are you looking forward to this match? Well, we haven't been able to get up 3 this entire event, so I'm looking forward to try to get us there. Right, Bill, good luck. Thanks very much indeed. Dom, you've been playing well in this Weber Cup, haven't you?
Yeah, it's been going well so far. You know, put big emphasis on just taking one shot at a time, and that's all I plan on doing today.
This is absolutely crucial, this match, isn't it? Because 2 up at the moment, the Americans, it could finish with them being 4 up, or you could be level at the end of this session.
You know, you're thinking way too far ahead for me. I'm just taking, like I said, I can't afford to think that far ahead. I need to go and focus on what I need to do now, and the score will take care of itself. I suppose that's why you're taking part and I'm not. Well done, Dom. Good luck. Thanks very much indeed. Ladies and gentlemen, our 2 players, let's hand you over to our commentators, Cass Edwards and Simon Golding.
Big match then for Dominic Barrett. A real crowd favourite here in Barnsley, and he's got his own little fan club as well, or not so little these days, the Domination as they're called. Friends and family always turn out in force, and fiancé as well. Cassie watching on. And will Dominic be able to bring home the point for Team Europe? That's the question. I'm going to stick my neck out here, Cass, and say I think this one's in the bag for the Blues.
Dom has already met Bill O'Neill once in this tournament and had a victory over 2-3-4 against a 199. And I'm not going to argue with your prediction.
Good start. Had a good look at the practice balls that both men were bowling, and Bill O'Neill kept leaving the 10 in the corner. That's not necessarily a bad thing. It's a relatively easy adjustment to make for a pro like O'Neill, but there was certainly some frustration during those first couple of practice balls from this man.
Don't know if you noticed, Simon, how far left that Dom Barrett started this match. He was way left, almost going coast to coast, and Bill's out there as well. Not quite as wide. He's managed to get back and shoot a strike as well, so that's 2 each. One each, just to start the game off.
And joining us in the commentary booth, right at the top of this match after 2 strikes, I'm delighted to say Mike Fagan. And Mike, welcome to the booth, welcome to Weber Cup 13. Enjoying yourself?
So far, so good, guys. Yeah, thanks for having me.
Now then, tricky stuff down on the lanes, isn't it, for the guys? And, you know, you've had your fair share of interesting shots to cope with.
Absolutely, yeah. This lane is changing constantly, especially with the lights and the atmosphere and the heat and, you know, the rev rate out there. So it's ever guessing.
We kind of thought you got locked and loaded with 9 strikes in that last game. It's nice to get a win under your belt.
Absolutely, yeah. I'm favoring the fresher conditions more. My ball looks better going through the pins, and I can get a little more comfortable on that.
Also, Mike, yeah, pretty good season last season back at home in the running for the Player of the Year, and then you came to Europe and did some damage as well.
Yeah, things are starting to come together. Kind of started all at this event last year. You know, I think if you can bowl under these conditions in this atmosphere, you can bowl anywhere.
A shake of the head from Dom Barrett. Unfortunately for him, has to get the brain ball out, the spare ball. So his maximum potential score reduced to 280. We went out on a bit of a limb before you came and joined us in the commentary booth. You probably wouldn't have said it if you were here, but I said it's a point in the bag for the Blues. But I guess you disagree with that.
For this match, Dom has been hot, but you know, Bill's starting to find it. He's definitely got enough games under his belt now.
Yeah, we were quite surprised to hear from Bill how nervous he said he was at the start of this tournament. And certainly his first 2 shots in that opening Baker would have suggested he was.
Yeah, Bill had some issues with the lanes, with the lane when he first came out, but you know, he's starting to calm down a little bit. He's got enough games bowled, and you know, he's starting to be the Bill we know.
Now, second game on this lane condition. Anything that we can be looking out for? Anything the viewers at home can be looking out for in terms of what the changes might happen?
Well, I think that you know, the way that the guys are playing the lanes, the middle of the lane is going to dry up very fast, and it's going to be interesting to see what happens in the third match coming up. But I mean, that ball went high for Dom, but you know, he's got plenty of room left. He can still move plenty far left.
Yes, obviously some of the guys actually almost get to the left-hand channel, don't they, with their feet to open up the angle of the lane, try and make that pocket.
It's a little bit scary with that big cliff at the end of there. You don't want to get too deep. You might fall off. So
that's right, yeah. Straightforward spare there for Dom. Frames 3.
What do you think of the crowd in here tonight? It's packed, isn't it?
Yeah, we got a great crowd here. I mean, it's always great up here in Barnsley, and I don't know how many people we got rooting for us, but you know, it's good
too.
It's
at least
it's good to have everyone here just supporting the whole event.
That's 2 out of about 600, we reckoned, Mike.
I'll tell you what, Bill O'Neill is really starting to look like the real deal here.
That is the guy we know, and that's that hasn't come out yet. But you know, I think it's I think the beast is about to awaken.
Yeah, some fantastic rotation on this ball, more than it actually looks at the initial outset. But it really just rockets back, hits the pocket, right in the 1-3 pocket, carries all 10. Fantastic looking. 3 strikes in a row for the real deal.
Pressure then passes to Dom Barrett, but this young man has repeatedly shown that he's capable of dealing with it. And does make that little move to the left to try and open this lane up, but leaves a 10.
Yeah, the unfortunate thing, Simon, as you know, it only takes two spares, and if your opponent's striking all the way, then you're going to be behind, and it's so hard to get back in just a 1-game shootout.
Yeah, many of these matches are coming down to the 10th frame. I mean, it's so close. You know, 1 shot here, 1 shot there, and you know, things can swing big time.
Yeah, it's been good watching, I must admit, but it's been a little worrying as well. Never quite sure what's going to happen. Out comes the Dom Barrett spare ball. You've got to get yourself one of those brain balls, mate.
Well, I don't know if Track would love that, but you know, it is a cool looking ball.
And what's been the talk in the American team camp? I mean, Chris Barnes said the spirits were high, but how have you been talking about approaching this lane?
I think for us, it's all about just strategy. I mean, the teams are so evenly matched that it's tough to say that one person's going to beat another person automatically. So it's really just about when to put our players in, you know, and when they're going to have their best opportunity to put up a big score. And you know, we put in Bill in the second match last time around, and he was starting to look comfortable. So, you know, we wanted to throw him in the second match again. A little bit of breakdown. That seems to be his bread and butter right now.
Yeah, he's certainly getting a lot of reaction in the back end, and sailing the ball nicely, getting some good length at the break point as he comes off the oil. At the moment, it's perfect.
I actually do like this ball change from Dom. His ball seemed like it was getting a little bit too long down the lane and kind of getting behind the head pin.
Certainly snapped up a bit better in the back end, and fiance Cassie loves that one. A bowler, a good lady bowler in her own right. House from Australia, now living in the UK.
One more singles match to come after this. Stuart Williams up against the US team captain Chris Barnes. And at this point in time, Mike, what would you take as a finishing scoreline for this session?
Well, if we can, if Bill can stay hot here and Barnes can do what he does, you know, we could take a nice little lead. But it's been tough to win more than 2 in a row. You know, we've just been fighting back and forth. So even a split would probably be, you know, a nice lead going into tomorrow.
Well, if Bill keeps going, he's certainly going to put a point on the board here, which would make it 10-7. And as you say, if the American captain, Chris Barnes, can get one going, it could be 11-7 at the end of the session. And that would be a very valuable 4-point lead.
What Dominic Barrett can do is keep asking the question. As Mike Fagan said, decent ball change by Dominic. And again, that's just a sign of the maturity that we're starting to see from this young man. Making good decisions at the right time under pressure, and I mean, that's been one of the key elements to this Weber Cup, the number of ball changes that have occurred.
Yeah, that lane is changing very fast, and you know, if you don't see something you like, it's something you don't want to force. You don't want to just fit it in there. You know, make the change, make the adjustment, and you know, Dom looks like he's lined in now.
O'Neill still working that wonderful run of strikes, and it is amazing how things can change. I mean, you've experienced this in Weber Cups, Mike. You know, you've had a poor start and come back strong, and Bill's doing the same here.
Absolutely. He's looking like the Bill O'Neill that we know, and you know, he's throwing the ball great. He's starting to get more comfortable out there with the atmosphere, with the lane, and you know, hopefully doesn't give Dom a chance here, because I know Dom is going to looks pretty lined in as well.
A resurgent Bill O'Neill piling the pressure on Europe's Dom Barrett, who'll be relying on the support and voice of his fan club, the Domination, led by this Australian bowler.
I'm here with one of the wags. That's Weber Cup wives and girlfriends. Although, Cassie, you are actually Dom Barrett's fiancée, aren't you? How are you finding this Weber Cup so far?
I am his fiancée now, yes. And it's fun. Every year it's really fun. And all his family and friends come and we have an awesome time. He has to work, but we have fun.
Do you get nervous as well when he's playing? Because he always looks quite cool up there, but how do you feel?
He's always calm and collected, and we tend to have the knuckles clenched over here.
He's doing a good job. He looks in great form, actually. You're a bowler yourself as well, aren't you? Do you talk tactics away from the Metrodome lights?
Not so much. We're on different levels of bowling. I used to play for Australia, and that's how we met when he was playing for England. But, you know, he does this professionally now, basically, and I'm still an amateur, so I just leave all that to him.
And what happens, you know, because in between matches, do you grab a quick word with him? Do you manage to see him, or is he just locked in with the team?
No, he normally comes over, gives me a cuddle. He's pretty cool with that.
that helps him feel good ahead of games, does it? Well, look, Cassie, it's great to meet you. One of the wags here at the Weber Cup.
Here.
You are indeed. Well, it's great to meet you, and hope you enjoy the rest of the Weber Cup.
Thanks, Tony.